So we're going to be looking at a ballad today because that's what we've been studying. And we've already deconstructed a ballad in class. And we're going to look at another ballad today to see if the features that we found in that first ballad are present in this ballad. All right? So what do we know that ballads have?
It tells a story of something and it has many stanzas.
It repeats.
It has a rhyming scheme.
It's like a song or a poem.
Very good. Thanks, guys. Okay, so I'm going to hand out the ballad that I chose for you today. And what do usually do good readers do when they get something to read? Go ahead.
Predict. Look at all the clues, like the title.
Oh,
Like
okay.
scan.
Yeah. What clues do we usually have that we don't have on this one?
Pictures.
Picture.
Yeah, right. We don't. What else don't we have? There's no pictures.
Subtitles.
Yep.
Sometimes there's a quote that goes with it that helps you predict what's going to happen.
Very good. Yeah, not that. And we also don't have the author, right, which can give us a hint sometimes as well. And that's because I just typed this one out for you. But I'd like you to read the first stanza, and I'll read it out loud for you because ballads usually are meant to be performed out loud, and then I'll ask volunteers to read the others. And I want you to be able to answer the question, what does the Queen give? Okay? So what does the Queen give her subjects?
Good houses.
Anything else?
And a pretty
Estate, right? So does anyone know what an estate is?
Is there like a big property?
Yeah. Okay, so the Queen's going to give everybody a house and a big property, right? So who is the Queen? Ah, very good. So I see that you didn't know, so you're going back and rereading to find out. Do we have the name of the Queen in this stanza?
No.
What do all names begin with?
capital.
Capital. Okay, so that might give you a hint. So look back in and see if there's any words that are capitalized, and that might give you the name of the Queen. Okay, what did you find that's capitalized?
Plenty.
Ah, plenty. Okay, so let's see if that makes sense. So we'll put in, let's put in the name of a queen that you know. Anybody that know the name of a real queen?
Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth. So we're going to put Elizabeth in. We're going to substitute that for the word plenty and see if that makes sense. Okay, let's away to New Scotland where Elizabeth sits queen. Does that make sense? Ah, okay, then plenty is the name of the queen. So do you think that plenty is actually the queen's name, or is it something else? Have a little discussion.
I think it's something else. I think her name's
That means over.
Oh.
That's okay.
Probably her name because it's capitalized.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Everybody agrees that her name is actually Plenty, like instead of Elizabeth or Daniel or Noreen or whatever. Right? Okay. Well, then let's go back and see if we can, we're going to, that's going to be our prediction that Plenty is actually her name. And as we go through, we're going to see if we're correct or not that that's her name. Okay. Could someone read the next paragraph, the next stanza out loud for us, please? Nice and loud, Nori.
There's wood and there's water, there's wild fowl and tame. In the forest, good vents and good fish in the stream. Good grass for our cattle, good land for our plow. Good wheat to be reaped, and good barley to good barley to mow. Dairy down, 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 dairy down.
Very good, thank you. Now, Noreen did a great job reading that, and the one word she mispronounced as barely, it's actually barley. You did. Does anybody know what barley is?
It's like a food that's like a grain, I think.
All right. So, does anyone know when they call it New Scotland? It is a place, but we don't call it New Scotland. We call it something else. Should remember from grade 8 history. What place in Canada is actually New Scotland? I'll give you a hint. It's how you say New Scotland in Latin.
Nova Scotia.
Oh, there you go. See, it does help. Yeah, Nova Scotia. Very good. So how you say new in Latin is Nova, right? So Nova Scotia is New Scotland. Oh, so this is actually a ballad about Nova Scotia. So in this stanza, we get a list of lots of things that are Nova Scotia. So tell us what's in Nova Scotia. Nice and loud.
Water.
Yep,
Fish,
yep,
Wood.
yep,
forest,
yep,
barley,
yep.
Cattle.
Yep. Does anybody know when it says venison, why is there that little apostrophe in the word? What does that mean when we put an apostrophe in the middle of a word? Can't, I'm, it's, couldn't. What does the apostrophe tell you?
It puts two words together, kind of.
Yeah, and takes out, I can't
letter.
do a letter, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so that word is actually venison. And why did the author need to take a letter out of venison? Do you think?
to make that sentence go with the rhythm.
Right? Okay, so he needed to get rid of a syllable. Now that you know that word is venison, does anybody know what venison is? No? Well, what do you think, just from looking at the sentence then, there's wild fowl, good venison, good fish. So if we've got fowl, venison, and fish, venison is probably a type of,
Meat,
right, it's a type of meat. Very good. And what kind of meat could you get out of the forest?
deer,
That's what it is. So venison is deer meat. All right, so that's how you can, very good, that's how you can use context to get the meaning of a word. Excellent. Okay, so the Queen has given everybody all of these things, right? Now, why do we see the word good so much in there? Good grass, good land, good wheat, good barley, good fish. And this answer you should be able to figure out. So remember the question. What was the question I asked you first before we even started reading?
What makes a ballad?
Right? Okay, so then why do we have good fish, good meat, good,
To repeat.
right? So there's the repetition in the ballad. Okay, so we need to, so instead of thinking, wow, this person had a very bad imagination, they just called everything good. Oh, he did that or she did that because I don't know who wrote this, to use the features of the ballad. Okay, makes sense? All right, and reading out the next stanza, please, someone, and I'd like you to know at the end that these people came from somewhere else. What problems existed where they came from? A whole bunch of things that they don't have now in New Scotland, which we know is Nova Scotia. So what did they have where they came from that was causing them a lot of problems? And I see that you're going back and rereading. Very good. Who's causing troubles? Daniel?
Lawyers.
Uh-huh.
Landlords?
Landlords. Can you tell the group what a landlord does?
Sometimes when you're like renting a place out, there's someone who actually owns the property.
So, in that sentence, find the sentence with the word landlord. If the landlord is the person who owns the property that someone is renting, then what does tenant mean? So if the landlord is teasing the poor tenant,
the person that is renting the place.
very good. So if you didn't know that word before, now you know tenant means a renter. So let's go back up to where it says plenty sits queen. So now that you know they have wood, water, salt, free stuff, land, no taxes. And when we go back to see that the name was plenty, how many of you still think that that her name was actually Plenty. Okay, so if it's not Plenty, then what is Plenty there? Go ahead. Go ahead. Say stuff, Maureen. Go ahead.
Maybe they nicknamed her Plenty because she gives so much.
Could be. Anybody have a different take on it?
They
Renee?
like use that to describe Nova Scotia.
Oh, you're going to go ahead and keep working on your ballad, and hopefully that you've learned something here, seen something here that you can apply to your writing for Monday. All right?